Jacob starts off this hour in Washington, D.C. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
How are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve, sir. How about you?
I'm doing good. I just had a quick question for you. So I am just graduated from college this past May, and I have about only $12,000 in student loans.
Good.
A family member has gifted me over the years some stock that accumulates up to about $18,000 to $20,000, just depending on the stock price. My question for you is, should I use that and go ahead and knock out my student debt, or save it, because I'm getting married next spring, and I could save it and then eventually use that as a down payment on a house within a year or two of being married?
Okay. Well, we teach people the data points that we have learned, and that is the shortest distance between where you are and becoming wealthy is to become and stay debt-free.
Okay.
I would never borrow money on a student loan to buy stock. And in a sense, I know that isn't what happened, but in a sense, it's the same thing, because every day that you don't use this stock to pay off the student loan, it's mathematically as if you borrowed money on the student loan to buy stock. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can kind of see your point there.
Yeah. And so what do you make a year?
So I'm actually in the transition of getting a new job, potentially, to where my pay would be right short of $40,000 a year.
Cool. All right. And so what I would tell you to do is to become debt-free and use the balance of that money to build your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then at that point, if you wanted to not start investing yet and instead start piling up money for the wedding, the marriage, and the down payment on the house, and spend the next year doing that very aggressively with a budget where you're living on a plan, where your money's being very intentional, then that's going to be okay. Now, if you do not follow through, if you do not live on a plan, if you do not live on a budget and make your money behave, if you do not later start investing, if you don't save some money, instead you spend all your money goofing off over the next year, and you come into this marriage completely broke with no down payment for a house, and now your wedding is a new debt, and all of those kinds of things, then my advice was bad. But my advice presupposes that you're going to be wise and intentional with money from this day forward.
Yes, sir. I've been using every dollar for about 4 months now. So.
Hey, there you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Perfect. Yeah, so you're making your money behave already, isn't it? It's very enlightening. It shows you what's happening with your life, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, very cool. Yes, I would cash in the stock and finish up through baby step 3. That's your only debt, is the student loan debt?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. No car debt.
No car debt, and as far as I understand, my fiance is going to be coming out of school with debt free as well.
Amazing. Okay. Well, if she's your fiance, then you need to have deeper discussions about that to be very sure, so that everyone knows where everyone is. And by the way, you can tell her you have a fully funded emergency fund and you're debt free. And now, then the person who gave you this gift, the grandfather, the uncle, or the aunt, or whoever it was that gave you this stock gift all those years ago, you have honored them by using it wisely to build wealth the fastest. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Get after it, man. You're on the right track.